Welcome to Buy, Hold, Sell. My name's James Marley, and today we're talking about undiscovered small caps, stocks that are flying under the radar. I'm joined by Steve Johnson from Forager Funds and Mark Whitaker from Investors Mutual. Mark, never heard of this stock before? Gazelle, buy, hold or sell?
Gazelle's a buy for us. It's a hidden gem in the retail space on the ASX. It's been listed for 30 years. It's a very long duration business. Look, the key strengths of the business are it's in a joint venture with PVH Brands, so it basically controls and regulates the Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger brands in Australia. So if you're buying a Calvin Klein garment today, it's come through this JV which Gazelle owns. Look, cheap stock. If you take out the property that's on the balance sheet, so it's got a great deal of property. I think the earnings of the JV are trading around 5 to 6 times. So you're getting a really good discounted stock here in a good space. The brands are growing about 30%. Good retail management and a good yield of 6%. There's not a lot to not like about this stock.
Steve, you're a Calvin Klein kind of guy.
Am I?
Buy, hold or sell on Gazelle?
More a bond sort of guy, James. But I would say hold, and I say that because I don't know the business well enough, so I won't even make any uninformed comments about this one. I hadn't heard a lot about it until you put it on the agenda today, so I went and had a quick look. Some interesting little brands in there.
Worth doing some work.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point of the segments.
Moving along, MMA offshore, buy, hold or sell?
Another core holding for us, it's a buy. Just got back from the Middle East actually. On the weekend I was in Abu Dhabi. We've got a number of investments in our international fund that are headquartered there. The market has really turned. There's a lot of people now in the industry more confident that this higher oil price is here to stay. Perhaps more importantly that the world is going to need more supply from somewhere over the next few years, or we could be in for potential shortages. We're already seeing that in the Middle East. Interesting comments about Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Can they actually produce that much more that Donald Trump wants them to produce? The taps seem to be pretty full on. So some of our services providers there bidding like crazy for new work, a lot of expansion going on. MMA's late cycle, so you're not going to see an improvement for this business for a number of years until projects start getting approved and there's lots of work offshore. But we think at today's discount to its asset backing, you're getting paid reasonably well to wait.
Yeah. Mark, MMA offshore, oil, bit cyclical, a lot of assets, buy, hold or sell?
A lot of gearing as well. Look, it's a nice discount to NTA, but I question whether the NTA is really the NTA at this point in time in the cycle. There's a lot of excess capacity out there. It takes a while to get that back on stream, and obviously these guys have the supply there to provide to the market. For us, it's more of a hold. I'm not inclined to say a sell, but I think, as Steve's attested to, there's a bit of a waiting period on this one, and we're happy to sit back and watch it for a little while and just get comfortable that it's actually heading in the right direction.
Right. Southern Cross Media, old school, radio, not really a popular stock with a retail crowd. Buy, hold or sell?
Look, at a 6% yield and a 11 times PE, radio is sexy again. This is a core holding for us actually. We like it. Radio is actually a very resilient medium in the media space. It's continuing to grow. It's one of the few old world media forms where the audience and the revenues have actually grown over the last 10 years. So it's in a good space. It's in the regional media space in particular, regional radio, regional TV. Regional TV is in decline, but it's being managed really well. Regional radio business is a great business. It's going from strength to strength, and Grant and Nick there have done a really good job. Metro radio business is going well as well. It's more competitive, but they're the only operator of 2 metro licenses in each market around the country. So they've got a good strategic positioning there as well. As I say, good balance sheet deleveraged over the last little while. 6% yield, fully franked. Again, we like it. Buy.
Steve, radio, Southern Cross Media, buy, hold or sell?
I wouldn't argue with much of that, to be honest with you, James. And I think the whole strategic picture in the industry is really positive as well. You are going to see more M&A here. You're going to see, and the logic is compelling about shared costs across different forms of media. You know, you've got a big personality on radio, get them on the TV as well, get them in the newspaper, plug your TV shows on the radio and in the newspaper. Half of what you read in the newspaper now is they're plugging their own programs and content. And I think that combination is going to work quite well and be quite powerful together. And now that some of those barriers to putting these businesses together is gone, you are going to see more M&A in that space. So we don't own the stock, so I probably shouldn't be running around saying buy, but I think it's a really interesting opportunity, and I will say buy.
Okay, good. All right, well, this is a chance to give us one, an undiscovered small cap that you think ticks the Forager criteria today.
I'm going to go with a tiddler here. I'll go back to MRM. I think that's probably one of the more prospective and overlooked stocks in our portfolio at the moment, but I'll run with a little stock called MSL Solutions. This is a bit of a dud float from a few years ago. We participated in the float. They've hit their prospectus forecast with a bit of funny business. They own a bunch of software for golf clubs mostly, and they do the handicapping system in Australia. It's a pretty good little business, and the revenue line is growing nicely, both organically and with some acquisitions. They've promised the world a bunch of earnings that they've struggled to deliver, and I really wish they'd come to the market and said, we're not too worried about earnings for the next 5 years. We want to grow the top line, and then we're going to have a really nice business here. They've created some expectations that have put pressure on the share price, but I think they are delivering at a top line level, and there's a nice opportunity set in front of them. It's one of those recurring annuity IT businesses that in a different world you can see trading at a very different multiple.
Okay, great. Mark, something under the radar, something you want to tell the folks about today?
McPherson's, mcp.asx. So this is a brand owner in the personal care, beauty care and household sector space. So it owns brands such as Akin, Dr. Lewin, and in the household space, the Multix brand. So if you're shopping and you're looking for some compostable plastic bags, which are green friendly, the Multix garbage bags are for you. So a very good space, growing category. As we all know, the personal and beauty space is also growing quite nicely, so they're doing well. It's giving you double-digit EPS growth for this year and pretty good growth for next year as well. It's only trading on 10 times. Again, a 6% yield, fully franked. Laurie, the new CEO, the relatively new CEO there, is doing a really good job, really focused on the export opportunity around the key brands in that health and beauty space, and doing a pretty good job there, coming at it from a very considered way as well, not just sort of going full on and not understanding what they're doing. They're actually taking time to understand the opportunity in front of them. Some people might say they're moving too slowly, but I think it's a very considered and well-regarded approach, and given what we're seeing with some of the other players in this space, I think that's been the right way to go. Good quality business and selling good products, we like it.
Yeah. Well, who said there's no opportunities on the ASX? Just need to go looking a little bit. Our gentlemen today have found a few undiscovered gems.